everybody, this is dkdynamite, and tonight we have a very interesting zombies update. We sort of have a new Easter egg solved over on Maschine. We're going to be talking about that, and we're also going to be talking about the future of Black Ops Cold War Zombies after the Season 1 announcement, which left some part of the zombies community a bit underwhelmed. Definitely stay tuned, but before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, and also be sure to use code DYNAMITE to save 10% off any Control Freak orders. Their link is, of course, down below in the description. But also let me know in the comments, do you personally believe there are any other side Easter eggs left to be solved here on the Maschine? I personally don't think there are any, but as of now, the leads that we still have include that weird looking reward station outside of the map behind that barrier. We also have the monkeys, which I don't think lead anywhere, but there is a possibility the monkeys could be something since there is a different model for the monkey that was data mined, so maybe there's something with that. And we also have the free max ammo, which in my opinion is still a bit unexplained, but late last night, Glitching Queen posted a video talking about a potential solve for the free max ammo, which does involve the giant monster. Now, as you guys know, on round 40 and up, you will actually begin to hear the giant monster, and you can also see him right outside of the map by quick revive. And after round 40, I think he'll occasionally pop up every now and again, but there is a moment when you can actually hear the giant monster way before round 40. So there are plenty of people out there like Talum, Dalek, Glitching Queen that have actually been able to hear the monster on an early round, like 18, 23, 30, and if you're downstairs in the Pack-a-Punch room and you're in the Dark Ether and you hear that monster, apparently you have to stay down in the Pack-a-Punch room, do not go above ground, and once the Dark Ether ends and you're back in the daylight, you can go up by the quick revive machine and there'll be a floating max ammo, and it's a permanent floating max ammo that does not move. Now you'll see clips of different people's videos here in my video since I spent a long time trying to replicate this and could not get it to work. I'm really making this video to voice my opinion on this side Easter egg and also raise awareness on what's going on with this, because it may in fact just be RNG, just like the secret from Tag Your Toe In, where there's no definitive steps for this. I don't want to believe that. I want to say there is a definitive way to actually get this free max ammo, but as of right now, it's been very hard to replicate. Maybe you guys can figure this out and let me know down below in the comments, and I'll gladly make an update video regarding this free max ammo. But yeah, I went through so many rounds down to the Dark Ether by the Pack-a-Punch room, could not get the monster to spawn in. Again, you'll know the monster has spawned in when you hear the actual monster growling, you'll have your screen shaking, and then once the Dark Ether ends, you want to go above ground to find that max ammo. What we've been told is that if you actually go above ground while the monster is, growling and your screen is shaking, the max ammo will not spawn. You are not supposed to see the monster when he is above ground while you're downstairs, and apparently you have to activate the Dark Ether at the beginning of a fresh round in order to activate this, but I've seen people pull this off where they were already in the Dark Ether when a new round started and the monster still came. So not sure why this is so RNG based. It's very frustrating when things are like that because it's hard to replicate and it's hard to record, but some people out there have been lucky with this. Maybe a definitive solve will be found very soon, and if that's the case, I'll have an update video talking all about that. But this is almost as silly as the hand Easter egg also on the Maschine. I'll have my guide on that linked down below. When that got solved, I was like, wow, now I know why it took so long to figure this out. The hand Easter egg is fairly tedious and difficult, especially on solo, but on co-op you probably have a better chance of getting that done, and all it does is upgrade your weapon to the legendary rarity. Sure, it's cool, but it's very tedious to actually accomplish, and for what? For something that you can also unlock by spending salvage or just spinning the box and getting a legendary weapon? It was silly. And then with this, right, all this RNG that's potentially involved just for a max ammo, when you can buy ammo for points, you get dog rounds. It's like, why is it so difficult just for a free max ammo? I don't know why that is. Hopefully this gets figured out at some point soon, but you'll definitely see plenty of videos all over YouTube talking about this. Hopefully this raises enough awareness so that more people can actually test this and figure out what the deal is with the free max ammo. But with the announcement of Season 1 for Black Ops Cold War, we of course got a pretty action-packed gameplay trailer, but zombies was nowhere to be found in the trailer. We only learned about zombies through the brand new roadmap and through the big blog post that Call of Duty ended up posting a couple of days ago, and it is confirmed with Season 1, split screen support will be added for the Maschine, which is pretty cool. I guess something that wasn't working properly before. I'm glad they're fixing that. Now, it's honestly a bit of a silly update. There are people that care about split screen, so at least those people could be happy with this, but they also confirmed 2 new game modes, both of which are limited time modes, which really has me scratching my head, right? The holiday themed mode will be available right away when Season 1 starts. I get why that's limited time. It's Christmas themed. I totally get it. But the other mode, Cranked, isn't going to be releasing until mid-season, and it's also going to be a limited time mode. So I'm like, wait a second, I'm scratching my head here. What if a new Zombies map comes out with Season 2, 3, 4, and 5? We just can't play Cranked on those maps now? Are they going to bring Cranked back periodically? I don't get the reasoning behind that. Once Season 1 is officially over, we'll be back at square one. If you're on PlayStation, you still have Onslaught, but if you're on Xbox and PC, you just won't have any new modes to play in Zombies aside from Die Maschine and Dead Ops Arcade 3. So very strange choice here, making these both limited time modes, but the description for Jingle Hells is this limited time holiday mode turns Die Maschine into more of a winter wasteland than a wonderland, and there's plenty of cheer to keep you in the Yuletide mood. Aside from the new holiday decorations, expect a variety of festive firepower to augment your offensive capabilities, including snowballs that can freeze zombies, stocking power-ups, presents you can extract from frozen foes, and special surprises waiting inside the snowmen. So I think at the very least, this mode is going to be just a reskin Die Maschine. Probably nothing really new, no new Easter eggs or any of that, but definitely a bit of a change of pace gameplay-wise to fit the holiday theme. That's pretty cool. Something that you'd expect every holiday, right? A Halloween-themed map, a Christmas-themed map, an Easter one. I think this is fine. Totally cool for a limited time mode, 100%, but when it comes to Cranked, this mode is returning from Call of Duty Ghost. I believe Cranked was also in Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare 2019 as limited time modes, so that's fair. But the description for it is, Cranked is a limited time both literally and figuratively. Keep one eye on the countdown timer and the other on your zombie killing. Spend too long without an undead takedown and you'll explode. There's no time to lose as your survival depends on frantic, terror-filled takedowns where the only respite is the Cranked power-up, granting a brief breather before the carnage continues. So the fact that it's limited time does suck, but hopefully the mode is fun. It just seems like a much more fast-paced version of Rush from Black Ops 4, if you guys like that mode. Let's see how this plays out, but I know you're probably thinking, look at the roadmap, right? Zombies has this little portion, and multiplayer and Warzone have so much more. And you know what? I understand, right? Black Ops 3 really set the bar high for zombies and made people realize that zombies isn't just the third mode in the game. It's much more than that. And everybody experienced, you know, the rich atmosphere of zombies if you played Black Ops 3. And with Black Ops 4, I think the problem was that zombies didn't feel as epic at that point, right? I mean, they launched with 4 maps, there were plenty of modes and features, but it was almost quantity over quality at that point. And that was kind of an issue for quite some time. On top of the fact that so many content creators disrespected the game beyond belief without even trying some of the maps, reviewing maps they didn't even play. That really hurt zombies. And now, with Black Ops Cold War, I'm not really surprised that this is what we have. Warzone is doing extremely well. Of course the budget is going to go into Warzone, into multiplayer, but with zombies, it's almost like we have to earn their trust back a little bit so they can add more rich content throughout the year. I mean, with Die Maschine, it's a great map. I think the replayability with the gameplay features, the crystals, the weapon rarity, all of that feels great, but we won't really feel how great that is until there are more zombies maps in the game. In my opinion, zombies would be in a real solid state right now if we had at least 2 maps at launch. That's kind of the sweet spot, right? 2 maps at release, one that's a little bit more complex, another map that's a little bit more simple. Black Ops 3 had Shadows, which was very complex, something different compared to previous iterations of zombies before that, but there was also the Giant, which was there to help players get used to the Black Ops 3 mechanics on a much simpler map without tedious quests. Die Maschine is almost like the Giant to me, not because it has Noct in it, but because it's really easy to play, super easy for Warzone or multiplayer people to hop on, try zombies, maybe get the egg done on their first attempt. Everything is real straightforward, and if we had a Shadows of Evil-like complicated map next to Die Maschine, I think the balance would have been just right for Black Ops Cold War Zombies, right? 2 maps at launch is definitely a sweet spot for many people out there in the community. We had 2 maps at the start of Black Ops 1, right? Kino and 5. Black Ops 2 Transit obviously was broken up into several different survival maps. Black Ops 3 we just said, and Black Ops 4 had 4 maps, which to me was fine, but with the broken, messy launch that we had, people really couldn't appreciate what was being offered with Blood, Classified, 9, Voyage. It was a tough time, but now they went back to just 1 map, and to me it's fine to have 1 solid map that you could break up into different modes, different subsections, but Die Maschine isn't that interesting in terms of atmosphere and location. It's just a facility. It's just a lab, so to speak, right? Kind of generic, kind of like a World War II Zombies map. That's just how I look at it. So right now, here are some estimates, right? We could get Noct as a survival map as a pure surprise for a mid-season 1 update. totally a possibility, even though it wasn't on the roadmap. That can happen. But ideally, what would be fantastic is if we get a new zombies map every season, starting with season 2. That way we get 5 new zombies maps and have a total of 6 if you include the Maschine, not including any extra survival maps that they could end up releasing as a bit of a bonus. That's a strong possibility, but because of COVID and because of the great focus on Warzone, the following schedule is probably a little bit more likely. So season 2 could be in February, which brings us Firebase Z. Season 3 could be at some point in April, which brings a survival map from Firebase, like Shinonuma. Season 4 could be in June, bringing us the Ural Mountains map. And then season 5 could be maybe at some point late July, early August, bringing us a survival map ripped from the Ural Mountains map. And then season 6 could be maybe late September, bringing us the Berlin Kino der Toten remake. That's a very likely DLC schedule, but a part of me is like, all right, a new map right now would be great for zombies players. Everybody would love it, but at the same time, I'm on the fence of saying it's a bit too soon. Look at Black Ops 3. Their Horizons Direct didn't come out until, what was it? I think very early February, and the game launched, I think, second week of November. Look at Black Ops 4. Dead of the Night didn't come out till, I think it was second week of December, and that game dropped the second week of October. So looking at Black Ops Cold War, the game came out less than a month ago, so season 1 starts, I think it's exactly a month and 3 days after the launch of the game. I think it's too soon for a new map. You know, if they would have pushed season 1 back to, like, let's say first, second week of January, then maybe I could have saw it, but I feel like it's too soon for a new map. I know you guys are probably thinking we only have 1 map on disc, so it would make sense to drop at least 1 more right now. And I could support that, I totally see it, but if they drop a new map right now, I still feel like people will probably get burnt out on that very quickly and would want a new map a few days after that. So I'd rather than polish a brand new map like Firebase Z, take as much time as you need to make it very replayable, and then drop it when it's really prepared, when it's really ready, so that once it comes out, we won't get bored of it in a matter of a few days. I saw people saying we needed a new map 4 days after the launch of the game. 4 days. Maybe it's because of the rigged Easter egg hunts and a lack of some really cool side Easter eggs. And when I say rigged, I mean people were able to fully solve the Wonder Weapon upgrades offline with early copies, of course. Even though the steps were a bit different on local compared to online, it still gave people the opportunity to have a somewhat decent head start with the main Easter egg, since the main Easter egg, for the most part, is just upgrading the Wonder Weapon. So kind of a silly Easter egg hunt when the game dropped. The egg was solved in like a couple of hours. Didn't really feel like a legit hunt. It just happened way too fast. But with season 1, we are going to be seeing seasonal challenges also added in, which could help replayability a little bit. There'll be 20 challenges added into zombies, in which the rewards will be calling cards. Still something to do for zombies, right? Something to do while you play the Maschine still. Not too bad, right? You gotta appreciate what we do have at the very least. The rumor before launch was always that we'd get 2 maps, or at least 2 maps on disc, the Maschine and Firebase Z, and then a 3rd survival map of Nacht as a bit of a bonus. So 3 experiences at launch was the plan. Why that get changed, who knows, but you could just say COVID is probably the reason why, right? Treyarch being on a very wonky development schedule, you know, taking over a game that wasn't even supposed to be their game. Who knows what it was, but if there's ever a time to have an excuse for developers having a hard time, now is the time because of COVID, right? They're not even working at the studio, they're at home. Who knows how slow it takes to get things done as opposed to working over at LA. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you think about the future of Black Ops Cold War Zombies? If you want more detail about the exact DLC season in terms of where we're going and how it's story related, I have a full video breaking all of that down, linked down below in the description. But yeah, when it comes to season 1, we're getting 2 modes, split screen support, and I believe 2 new Onslaught maps. So if you're a fan of Onslaught, you have a PlayStation, there's something as well. But be patient, right? Let them polish a solid map, let them drop it in February with season 2. I think we'll be just fine. But at the end of the day, right, Black Ops Cold War Zombies will be looked at so much differently after there are a number of maps to play in the game. Looking at it right now with just the Maschine, I get it. It's frustrating, it's underwhelming. Give it time. But really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everyone.